Hello friends, I'm Moom and today we are diving with the fantastic world of Linux. And recently I got a comment from someone who said that we can play Free Fire with keyboard and mouse support without any key mapper natively on Linux using Waydroid. And so here we are and let's get started. Alright then, so here we are on my Manjaro setup and yes, you can do it anywhere. So the first step is to install Waydroid. Now the simplest thing to do is I'm going to use AUR to install Waydroid here. You can also use APT or DNF based on your package management system. Now if you have this option then I suggest go on with the first default one. Alright then, let's go. Alright then, so the first step is to install Waydroid. So I'm going to use AUR for that. There it is. The process has begun. I'm going to go on with the default settings and it has begun. And at last, I have successfully installed Waydroid. Now let's see what are the next steps to install it. So I have installed Waydroid. Now I need to enable Waydroid container to start by itself. I know is it necessary, but yeah, let's go on with it. There it is. Now I need to install GApps. Okay. Alright, looks like at last it is done after so many attempts because of bad internet. And now, let's try and start Waydroid. There we go. Okay, so we have multiple Android applications here now. But by the looks of the applications, it's obvious that the Android system being used is, man, literally way too old, like Android 9 or 7 maybe. Yeah, well, let's go on. Control C, Control V, enter. And now here we are on Android's Lineage OS. I always remember this amazing application, well, bootloader. Okay, so here we are. Alright, the device is not protected. So what? Now, oh come on. Just turn on Do Not Disturb. Now, leaving that, I'd like to see, it's obviously Android 9 or 11. So it is 11. Right. Well, I'm gonna need Android, what was it? 13 in order to get better key map and, well, you know what I'm talking about, better support for playing Free Fire for business. So let me just close it, Control Shift C. And now let's install Android 13/14 for native keyboard support. Well, yeah, I asked ChatGPT to do everything. Yeah, I did. Now, let's install this pixel image. And it is not found. Okay, so there are multiple options. So this is option 1 in its opinion. Well, I must ask, the GitHub link is not working. Alright then, so best approach, use AUR this. This will rebuild based on Lineage OS 20 corresponding Android 13 with, well, complete GApp support. And then I'll have to do things. Hey, I want to install latest Android. Yeah, talking about Android, then I've heard that Android 16 has finally released. Man, that is going to be awesome because, you know, for the first time, we're going to get proper desktop support. Okay, so Waydroid with Android 14, that's the target. But first, I'm going to have to download this. Page not found. This page is not found in GitHub. Alright then, so I'm gonna have to go on with Android 13. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna have to install this. Let's do it. Okay, sure. So I have finally installed Waydroid with some applications of Android, but looks like this is Android 11, not the 13. And so I'm going to use this command which will help me install the latest Android 13 available for Waydroid. Let's do that. Enter, enter, and there it begins. I'll meet you when it's done. And at last, after 3 hours of downloading and installing, it has finally done. Now let's see what are the next steps, shall we? So we need to install Waydroid and LXC. Or I should say reinstall it, maybe. But it is already installed, isn't it? So what we're going to do is do this. Well, looks like it is already initiated. Well, I'm gonna need to tell it I have already installed Waydroid with Android 11 and now I want to update it. Now it should understand, hopefully. Well, let's just take a look if it is, well, Android 13 or 14 or whatever. It is starting. I'm gonna let it start. Network problem, that's new. Alright, it is a good. Android 11. You cannot even think about how tired I am. Okay, so first we need to stop and reset Waydroid. Let's do it then. There it is, stopping Waydroid container one by one. There it goes again. And I'm going to almost uninstall the other stuff. There it is. It now clears out my old Android and now I'm going to install the latest one. Yep, there we go. Alright then, so at last, after another few hours, here we are on latest Android 13 of Waydroid. Man, really. Let's just take a look. There it is, Android 13, Lineage OS. Yep, it does look good. Yes, it does. Now, what we need to do is to actually install Free Fire here. Now, for that, we can just go on with the Play Store version because that's the best way. But I'd like to ask something first here. Okay, so I want to ask, can I use my dedicated NVIDIA GPU or not? Man, I started the whole process at approximately 12 and now it is 5 in the evening. Help. Okay then, so the thing is, the short answer, yes we can, but partially. So we can actually, what can we do? We can transcend the whole GPU power as integrated GPU combined into the Waydroid, but it will not recognize any Vulkan or CUDA support. Right. So what we need to do is to enable some flags, install some things, and then yeah, that is to. It will not directly pass NVIDIA. Well, I don't know what to do, but all I can know is to just enter these commands. So let's do it. Control C to end this, and then let's enter this. Variant session is stopped. Enter this as well. Variant session another stopped. I don't know why. Okay then, I believe it's done. Now use softwares like GameScoop or Mango HUD. Yeah, leave that. At last we have done it. And now it is time to install Free Fire to test if it works or not, isn't it? So I'm thinking like, shall we just go on with Play Store, shouldn't we? There. But first I need to do is to get them into a single folder because I don't like that. The way they are scattered over my dock. Well, dash. Almost done. And there we go. Now let's just open Play Store. There it is. Latest Lineage OS for Waydroid version 20, which gets us Android 13. Lineage. And here we begin. Now I need to sign in. So yeah, we'll meet later. So I have logged in into my Google account and yeah, at last. We have Android 14 or 13 running natively on Linux without any problem, with a huge load of applications, along with Free Fire, as we say, which I've just now installed. So let's test it out, shall we? Play. Let's see if we can play it without keyboard, with keyboard and mouse and everything. Let's get started. And the moment of truth, yep, Free Fire is running, but we still have to see if it uses keyboard and mouse for playing. Let me just stop all the downloads. Now let's see. Okay, so we can easily use keyboard and mouse and we can actually adjust some keys and other stuff. Nice. Okay, so shall we test it? Yep, we should. Let's go on in a class call. I hope it just loads a little quicker than others. Okay, it is. Let's see. There it is. Close my gun. And it is working pretty greatly. Okay. So my mouse is pretty much working pretty good. Like it is smooth. I don't know if you can see in the recording because the frame rate, but as of you can see, I can feel it is working pretty good. Let me just kill. Okay, I'm killed. Yeah, I'm not much hell of a player, especially on PC, but still, it is pretty smooth, approximately 60 FPS. Well, it is logged in 60 FPS at the highest graphics, and I believe it is pretty snappy, like not the bad snappy, the good snappy, like the smooth snappy. There is no delay, just like we have in emulators. It is running natively just like in Chrome OS. Yes, and I don't know which map is this because I've not played this game for a long time. But yeah. Alright, I'm getting habitual. Well, maybe because it is running so smooth, like it is indeed smooth. And it is not even using my dedicated GPU yet. So you can think like integrated GPU is working pretty great. Literally great. Okay, easy. Now it is time to fight. That is one. Easy. Okay. So this is going good. Okay, I cannot win from there, so I'm gonna need to heal. Easy, easy. Okay, another one. Well, yeah. You see, the interface is a little weird because I used to play it on my mobile and the layout is still the same. So you're gonna need to fix the layout. I have not yet. Okay, so the enemy is there somewhere. Okay, there. Okay, that was indeed a mistake. I'm gonna have to be a little cautious. There it is. There he is. We're gonna need to have him easy. Okay. And it's not so good. Okay, my internet was. And yeah, my internet went wrong, and yet here we are alive. Okay, so the thing is, Free Fire is working pretty greatly, like really greatly. And there are a lot of other games which work out of the box with keyboard and mouse support on Google Play Store. For example, you have Asphalt here, Riptide GP, and GTA has gamepad support. And the best game with the best graphics off the road. It is also beautiful and pretty native. This one. Even hill climbing, Asphalt Legends, Roblox, all of them have keyboard and mouse support, so you won't need to worry about anything once you install Waydroid with latest Android. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yes, it was indeed a nice journey. It took me almost a whole day. You cannot imagine the pain. Maybe because the servers were down or something, the download speed was like 100 or 200 kbs a second. And it was such a pain when you're installing a whole operating system directly like Android 14. But yeah, it was all worth it at the end. And yeah, bye bye. I might want to take a rest a little after such a long journey.